Hi there, I'm Julie Lammers, and I'm with my husband, Scott Brown, and we're here to share our thoughts on the capital campaign. So St. Joseph Parish is at a defining moment in our history. A few years ago, I got a call from Joe Schmall as I was driving home on 151, and it was hands-free, but he called and he asked us to get involved in the capital campaign, and I was kind of shocked. I had a few questions. Told him, I better think and pray on this a little bit. And of course, talk with Scott. And so, hung up and I finished driving home. Of course, about 10 minutes later, I was at home. And by that point in time, when I pulled in the driveway, I knew the answer had to be yes. Yes, it's the right thing to do. We're all ancestors and we've benefited from what the previous generations have done for us. And so as ancestors, we need to pave the path for the next generation. We appreciate and thank all those who gave of their time and talent to build this parish. And some of those folks are still sitting in the pews next to us each and every week at Mass. And maybe some of those folks are watching one of these videos. So I say hello and thank you to all of those predecessors in faith. So what do we need to do? Well, we're going to move forward. And as Joe and Barb shared last week, we need to make some renovations to our campus and work to beautify our sanctuary and all that we enjoy here at St. Joseph Parish. So we're here to talk today about that vestibule and entryway.
So during our information gathering sessions as a part of our capital campaign, a number of common themes started to emerge from the parishioners as far as the experience coming in and out of Mass. No welcoming area for us to gather and connect was a key element. Limited accessibility to the diverse ages and abilities that we have within our parishioners. The feeling of being rushed in and out of the building after Mass. Inadequate lighting and sound, as well as just really no place to store all the different things that we need to store at the church itself. Therefore, the primary entrance to our church will be enhanced with a new vestibule and entryway, which we'll call the gathering space. The gathering space will be in the area where the current drive-up canopy is. If you look at the pictures, what you'll see is a beautiful airy space with 4 large peaks and windows across at the top of those peaks, allowing sunlight to come in from all different directions. There will be 2 entrances to the gathering space. On the west side of the church, the grade will be raised so that you'll have entrances to both the church and the gathering space from ground level. This means that people can enter the church and the gathering space without having to go through any steps. On the east side of the church, the east side of the gathering space, the entrance will be at the level of the current parking lot with the ability to have a drive-up canopy where parishioners can actually be dropped off. On the weekend of July 27th and 28th, you can get a feel for how big this space actually is. As you exit after Mass, you'll see paint lines drawn in the parking lot and in the grassy areas around the church itself. This is the actual footprint of what the new building would be, and get a really good idea of how large this space is that we're actually talking about. So besides following my wife's lead in answering the call from Barb and Joe, I wanted to share a little bit about my perspective on why I believe in this capital campaign. I've been a member of the Finance Committee for the last 8 years. So after going through the effort of replacing the roof on the church and then replacing the air conditioning and boiler system in the church, we as a council decided that we should start to look at all the different things that need to happen within our parish campus. As we evaluated the status of our aging facilities, as well as the growing parish family that we have, it became very apparent that a capital campaign was needed. As an ambassador for the last 3 years, I've witnessed the difficulty faced by our parishioners with mobility challenges, from limited entrances to the building itself to limited and inadequate seating within the church, as well as bathrooms that are difficult to navigate, and having to actually run across or walk across traffic in the parking lot in order to enter the building itself. As Julie mentioned, we are at a defining moment within our parish life. We knew from the start that we would be a part of the capital campaign and have been participating on the Faith in Our Future committee since it started. As The committee uncovered the different expenses and things that we needed to actually do with the campaign. We as a couple discussed and discerned and reevaluated our sacrificial gift on multiple occasions, ultimately and joyfully giving the largest contribution that we've done in our lives. So we are guided by the Eucharist as the source and summit of our Catholic and parish life.
So what can you do? Well, pray. We've got these wonderful prayer cards, and we encourage you to grab these as you leave church when you're there. They're near the entryways, and pray to God as well as to our patron, St. Joseph, for all the blessings we can for a successful capital campaign. You can also pledge a sacrificial gift to the campaign. All gifts are a blessing and very much appreciated. You can also volunteer. There are many opportunities to volunteer in a project of this size. And if you can't volunteer, that's all right. Just be kind. When a volunteer might give you a call, seeing how if you have any questions with regard to the campaign, or perhaps offering to pick up your pledge card or help you out with it. So we thank you so much for listening to this video, for praying for the campaign, and thank you again for making St. Joseph Parish truly special.